I think we're looking at a 24-page booklet, purely for practical reasons. This accidental
the Polaroid
treatment
stuff is
I thought was
nice,
very nice because it sort of adds to a craft feel. And then what we've done is on the back, treated that the same.
Yes, that's nice.
And
Good back shot, isn't it?
Love it.
What I was thinking now was that we might have treat each song separately, so you'd have like a little explanation. I did a bit of interview, sort of what it meant to me and what I did, and then maybe some liner notes from sort of like an editor kind of thing, sort of in another point of view. Well, this is just a first thought.
Yeah.
This is your first layout. I mean, my first thought on all of this is it's nice. I was always worried about the lack of colour.
we've addressed that one.
We're going to address that next.
Yeah.
If that is your album cover, which it looks like being the favourite, what you can do in shops is you can have this picture, and you can even put a little sort of square around there. So in other words, sort of like just sort of say, oh, see where it's come from. That could be quite a big poster in a shop.
Sure. I mean, again,
sort of reveal where the cover came from. And if you just put, as I say, just a little sort of square around that, which is a graphic device, you'd sort of have your cover. It's like a little marketing thing, mobile hanging in a shop or something. I kind of like just the clean look. It sort of seems.
Well, I think that what I wanted to do was just give you something nice. And
you could do titles or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This. I mean, really, the size could easily go to that size. Also, the other thing is to speak to work with Mark, which we did tremendously on that, and work to what facilitated the book. Like if there was too many words, hey, we got to get the pictures in, so let's cut this down.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off without losing any sense to what you're doing.
It was an idea to not even have liner notes, but to just have my quotes about each song. Just little sort of. But I think probably a combination of the two is probably the best.
Yeah, I would say.
So have a few little quotes from me, and then Mark just sort of saying, and this one was written as so and so and so. So you have a little editorial comment as well.
I mean, if you have a look here, we got the sort of the three elements which kind of dictated the sizes to an extent was these details here in terms of the production and credits.
Yeah.
That was the most. That's about the least, I think. Then you've got the longest lyric and you've got the longest liner note. So you can see that was the combination. And it's all variable and flexible. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But I think that the arrangement is working nicely, and I think that can easily go up a couple of sizes. That's not a problem.
That's right. Well, especially you've got a little space there anyway.
And then here, that if that's reduced, then we'll get a consistency through.
It's great. I think we can incorporate a lot of these ideas. I say our original feeling was the colour thing. I realised that we'd only given you black and whites. So Lynn and I started to look for some other snaps pics.
Okay.
So it's going to now depend on what we do with the words, how much of that we need.
All right.
And this is quite a nice selection of photos. Nice one, Ringo.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, Paul, really, I mean, it just depends on, I think if you, too many things. I mean, I think the black and white ones, coloured up, give it a really different sense of colour.
We figured you'd have some pretty formed ideas, and it's great you have. That we just razz it up a little bit, maybe. We just sort of
can look at
little hot things here. And then
One more razz.
One more razz. And then I took I took the original thing, and when we were thinking it wasn't coloured enough, I sort of drew on it and did a big sort of thing. So this is my sort of madness. If we were going for, going to look at something not straightforward. The one thing I was thinking is we all thinking of Flaming Pie as like fire, but another interesting angle is like hot images. So in other words, you can, hot colours and stuff. I was starting to think that something like this, reduced right down and used just sort of here, I mean like this, to really bang out some very intense colour. So we're thinking this is also Flaming Pie in a way, leaves just flaming. So possibly just in the corner or somewhere. I think this coming down small would probably be too much. But these, for instance, could be, in a surrealist way, you could see them as flaming pies, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think everyone's found, and I think it's just a general feeling, CDs just inhibit.
Yeah,
Isn't it
bloody
sad?
small.
They just inhibit
We used to love
And when they get
LPs.
stuck, It's the worst sound in the world. At least you've got to, but it's not.
Yeah.
Which is very.
It's like
And George Martin, when he had the
so
first.
annoying.
George
Oh, yeah.
Martin, when we had the very first CD ever,
Oh.
Sony were bringing out. They wanted everyone to pay a royalty
Right.
on it. Which was no- George Martin was sitting around with this, and he said, "And you see, chaps," he said, "the wonderful thing is no hiss, and they're absolutely unbreakable." And he went bang, and it broke. These were just feelings we got. Was that like to just
Yeah.
heat it up a little bit? I got a feeling it was getting rather
You know,
polite, for want of a better word.
Yeah,
You know, and very beautiful and very graphic and very sedate. And I started to think that the album is a little rougher edged than that.
Well, I
The
mean-
tracks are a little rough and ready, a little homemade.